Dismissive avoidants often do not fight for a relationship. And in this video, we're going to break down why this actually happens and two things that you can do instead to retain your boundaries and make sure you're investing in healthy relationships. And we'll also talk a little bit about the neuroscience of what's actually taking place here in your mini masterclass in the next 2 minutes. So here's the first thing. Dismissive avoidants generally have this huge fear that if they put themselves out there and they're vulnerable, it's a losing battle anyways. Where do you think this fear comes from? Their own childhood experiences. Dismissive avoidants were often in situations or dynamics where they needed their emotional needs to be met. They needed attunement. They needed somebody to validate their emotions or help them self-soothe or co-regulate with them. And they didn't have access to this. So as an adaptation to this, they were like, well, let me not try to rely on other people. Let me not need other people. And that created relief. And so they have this idea that when they want something from somebody and it's not working, they're like, why bother? Just pull away. That's how I know how to function and operate. And so dismissive avoidants, when they feel like a relationship is on the rocks or things are difficult, they're like, why bother? Let me just do what's in my control. It gives them a sense of control to actually pull away and retreat. Now, what do you do if you're on the receiving end of this? And what's the neuroscience behind this? One of our studies from Miriam Orloff in 2013 actually showed that oxytocin, when somebody had neglect trauma from childhood, oxytocin was actually blunted in future relationships, especially when there was a desire or need for vulnerability. Oxytocin, if you didn't know, is the bonding neurochemical. So literally their ability to bond has been impacted by their past experiences. Now, if you're on the receiving end of this, you can do two major things. Number one, you ideally want to be able to set your boundaries, but communicate your needs. What I mean by set your boundaries is it shouldn't fall on one person to do all the work in a relationship. So if you see that you're doing all the heavy lifting, set a boundary. You can't chase the other person or do all of the work for both of you. Each person in a relationship is 100% responsible for their 50% of the connection. But on the flip side of this, it's also going to be extremely important in a relationship to ensure that you are showing up in a way to communicate your needs. So don't play games. Don't say, okay, you're not trying, I'm not going to try. Say, I would like you to try. I would like you to make an effort, and then vet and see how somebody responds. And that's going to tell you so much of what you need to know. If you want future steps and how to dig into this in a much deeper, more impactful way, you can see the full length video of this in the description down below.